Hail, Wanderer. Would you spare a moment? I have a favor to ask you. It was not always the empty place you see now, but it has become little more than a stopping point between Dalentarth and Rathir for travelers. Not much to speak of, just another soul wandering the plains trying to get by. This used to be a peaceful place full of farmlands. It is still a quiet place, but now the freemen are lurking around just looking to murder and thieve. In appearances, perhaps, I'm just an alpha that needs your help. I have a few belongings to sell, and unfortunately, I've done little to endear myself to Aiton's folk. Will you sell them in my stead? The arrangement is simple. I give you an item, and you sell it. I take a cut, you keep the profit. And will repeat until I have nothing to sell. Understand? I thought you had the look of a trader about you. I have several items for you to sell. If you prefer, you could just buy them all now from me and sell them later. As you wish. The items are in acceptable condition, if nothing else, but they might stand a little polish here and there. Take my silverware, for example. It's somewhat tarnished, but Ban Ron could use the metal. If you melted it down, he'd likely pay more for it. I want you to sell it. Banron, the local smithy, will have use for the silver, I'm sure. If you process the silver down to a raw form, he might pay more for it.
Welcome to the Clanging Hammer. Don't see many new faces in Aiton these days. My forge is open. Before Talarain fell to ruin, it was Aiton's fields and villagers that stocked and supplied the various citadels there. But the war hit us hard. Bandits plagued the roads. Even Rond Farm has burned to soot. It's quiet here, farmland mainly. But between Rond Farm and the Freemen, we've got our own worries. They have been lingering around the wolds. Be cautious on the roads out there. Those freemen like to sneak up on wanderers. I've seen this before. I made these for Rattofer, back when he was still lording over us. I suppose the war finally caught up with him. That was good silver if I recall. But I've many other jobs to deal with before I'll get to salvaging it. Fine, here's some coin. Forge is yours, whenever you need.
How goes our business? For your sake, I hope it is smooth. I never thought I'd see the day when I'd be happy to see such a paltry sum. I suppose the townsfolk are happy on my behalf. But let the past lie. I've another item for you. My kerchief. Slightly, worn, but the material is special. Of the sort alchemists employ for handling reagents. Asculthorin might buy it. He's a stubborn one, but he's weak at haggling. See what you can get out of him. Maybe I was someone once before, when the war was just a small conflagration in Cluricon. But by the time we heard the war front was coming, it had already reached us. And like a fool, I smiled at the opportunity. Asculthorin, the local alchemist, is interested in it. The cloth is normally used for handling sensitive reagents and potions. See what kind of price you can get out of him. Yes?
Good day, traveler.
For a minute I thought the damn Freeman had fancied to rob me. Welcome. I offer some alchemical items if you are interested. If not for the slim flow of traffic between Rathier and Dalentar, there would likely not exist anymore. It's been worse since the war. In a few decades, we'll probably be like Talarain, completely ruined. My wife and assistant, she helps me run the shop, although sometimes she creates more problems than she fixes. It's quiet here, and I can appreciate that. But as the days pass and travelers grow scarcer, it becomes ever more difficult to make a living out here. Ruffians and bandits are scattered all over the wolds. It's dangerous wandering outside of town. Well now, I haven't had a solvent cloth like this in quite some time. I'll give you a few coins for it. It's funny that you're here on Ratifer's business. I haven't heard anything from him since he returned from Tuilia over 10 years ago. Not that I think I'd have much to say coming back from what he did. You need anything else? Very well.
What is it you need, stranger? How go my affairs? And I hope you've gotten out of Askel what you wanted for it. I have another item I want you to sell. A pair of daggers. Finwick Ivor collects weapons, gaudy, gem-encrusted ceremonial ones, but weapons nonetheless. Some gem socketing may be of use. Take whatever you can for them. Just get them out of my sight. I was caught up in the war. Everyone with an able body marched to the east. And I went with them, for glory, for pride, for vengeance. They were the only things we never found. Sell them to Finwick Ivor. He's fancied himself a collector of these kinds of things. He's quite vain. If you socket a gem or two into them, I'm sure he'll pay more for the daggers. Sell them to Finwick. He's quite vain. If you socket a gem or two into them, I'm sure he'll pay more for the daggers.
Stranger to Ayton, I'm the law in this town. Keep the peace and you are welcome to stay. If not, then you had best leave. If you need to trade, visit Banron, our smithy, and Askell deals in alchemy. And there's a general dealer staying at the inn. Town's becoming harder to protect. We get weaker every season, and the freemen know it. I do what I can, but we keep losing ground. Rond Farm burned not long ago, but it's too dangerous to investigate. I am the law of the town. Ayton needed protection, and I didn't see anyone else willing to do the job. I took it upon myself to keep Ayton safe. Someone needed to do it. Used to be peaceful farmland before the war was on. Now it's some scratched-up dirt, home to Ayton and those murderous freemen. Ratofer's runner? These daggers. You can't mean to say he had them after all these years. These are his prize from the Battle of Gallifore Fields, where Oriator and Ratofer pushed the Tuatha back to the coast. I'll buy them from you, certainly. Keep the peace. The damn freemen are getting closer to the village. Keep the peace.
What is it you need, stranger? How go my affairs? Good. Sell this ring as well. There is a recluse who lives on the edge of town. Nell. The ring meant something to her long ago. Age has taken its luster, but the potion from an acid solution will make it shine once more. Nell will pay handsomely for that, I think. When the war neared Rathier, I joined with forces on the Gallifore Plains. The Tuatha were pushed back. We chased them all the way back to Tuwili, hoping to end it there. We didn't. It goes to Singing Nell, the hermit near town. She has a dowry, some gold saved away, I know it. The ring's tarnished with the years, but there's a secret. Douse it with acid solution, and that should wash it clean.
Yes?
Strangers strange come to Ayton. Few come by these roads nowadays. A hard gaze falls on Ayton. Many are the burdens and few are the reliefs. Someone must go to Ayton Circle. Someone must call the Erethel. Though our wheat grows strong, the citizens do not. We sowed a crop that was untimely reaped. We need intervention, lest we end up like Talarain, a monument to nothing, with kobolds and raiders squabbling over our bones. The last remaining farm in the Wolds. There has been much talk of it, how Denrit and Allred Rond have gone mad. Even Finwick refuses to investigate, so wary is he of catching the madness. Hoping to hear a song for coin from Old Nell. I haven't sung for years, stranger, not since the war started. Ratofer. After a decade, he begs me payment for the ring, and so his promise is finally broken. Very well. I should be lucky to die unmarried rather than a widow. A forgotten spot in these plains. The land still bears grain, but few reap the crops they did before the war. Only Ron Farm stands, and Flame has gutted it. The others have fallen into the hands of the freemen, bandits, marauders. 10 years after Ratofer's squires and pages died, another comes back to me bringing this ring. It's as green and old as my heart. But if Ratofer put a part of himself out for sale, it's fitting that I buy it. I have a trove of my own out here. Take it. Just leave the ring. Flutter away.
Yes?
Welcome to Ayton.
What is it you need, stranger? How go my affairs? That was a hard thing to let go of, but it needed to be done. There is one last thing I need to divest myself of. My charter. The one that shows my ancestry. It is in the ruins of my family's estate, Corgan Hold. Its buyer is Gordon Lott, the innkeep. Give it to him whatever he asks for it. It was a stronghold that my family held for generations. When I returned from the war, its halls were empty and I couldn't bring myself to fill them again. Brigands and worse things lurk in those halls now. It's been 10 years since I took the young of Ayton and failed to come back with them. Their families, their loved ones, I couldn't look them in their faces. I could never understand what they went through, but knowing was enough. In Corgan Hold, it was an ancestral home for the Ratofers, but since I've abandoned it, darker things lurk there now.
Yes?
can I help you? Hello. Ratofer's finally sent you. After 10 years of wasting his life at my tap, he decides to send someone else for this. Well, I'm a busy man, stranger. Say what you came here to say. He took my sons. He took all of Aiton's sons and daughters, husbands and wives when he went to war. And all that was returned to us was a single man, broken and destitute, begging to drink himself into oblivion. If Ratofer wants to escape his poverty, I say let him rot in it. Do you think I enjoy thinking of my sons every single time that drunkard walks in? But you're right. I know what he wants with this money, and if it helps him do that, he can have every coin I've ever saved. Give me the charter. I'll burn it. It'll be a part of his life he can never buy back. Always open.
What is it you need, stranger? How go my affairs? Then the charter was sold after all. In the years I've been back, I've never held this much gold at once. There's nothing holding me back now, thanks to you. It's time I do what I should have done years ago. Buy a blade, I'll get to Rathir, and book passage for Melsenshir to the war front. I left here 10 years ago with the promise of glory and Aiton's youth, but came back alone. I've carried their deaths with me since. What life I had left here you sold. Now I return to war, a nameless soldier. I pray to the gods I never make it back. It was not always the empty place you see now, but it has become little more than a stopping point between Dalentarth and Rathir for travelers to use. It's been 10 years since I came back from Tuwili. 10 years since I took the young of Aiden and failed to come back with them. Their families, their loved ones, I couldn't look them in their faces. I could never understand what they went through, but knowing was enough. This used to be a peaceful place full of farmlands. It is still a quiet place, but now the freemen are lurking around just looking to murder and thieve.